When the Great Fire of Silver Creek, Colorado, reduced the old town hall to ashes, it took my small apartment with it. In one night, I lost my home, my sense of well-being, my health, and my favorite travel trunk. The loss of my apartment and my well-being wasn't a catastrophe. A home without the warmth of a family to care for you is just a collection of rooms. My happiness wasn't a great loss either. I'm a practical man, not a poet, and my spirits are usually high. But losing my robust health and that handsome leather trunk was a genuine disaster. On the day of the fire, I caught the most dreadful cold imaginable. The moment I let out the first violent sneeze, a well-meaning friend, Jacob, insisted I soak my feet in scalding hot water and immediately go to bed. I obeyed. The next morning, another friend, Sarah, swore by the opposite remedy, a freezing cold shower. I did that too. An hour later, a third friend, a large man named Ben, declared that the only cure was to eat a massive quantity of rich food. Following his advice, I went to a newly opened diner and began ordering one of everything on the menu. The owner watched me with wide eyes and finally asked if the citizens of Silver Creek were often afflicted with such colds. I confirmed that they were. He then walked outside, took down his brand new grand opening sign, and locked the doors for the day. Later, I ran into another old acquaintance who told me the one true remedy was to drink an entire bottle of warm salt water. I tried it, and the outcome was memorable. I violently expelled every last item I had consumed at the diner. I vow to never drink warm salt water again, and I would never recommend it to another living soul. I would rather experience a California earthquake than endure that vile concoction. Not only did this horrendous treatment fail to cure my cold, but it also left my stomach in a state of rebellion for days. My sneezing continued with such force that I was destroying handkerchiefs at an alarming rate. My suffering only intensified. One afternoon, I was approached by a woman who looked to be at least 150 years old. She hailed from a remote corner of the West, a place untouched by modern medicine. She claimed to have decades of experience with folk remedies. She prepared a special syrup of molasses, turpentine, various oils, and other strange ingredients. Her instructions were to drink a full glass of it every 15 minutes. I managed to swallow just one glass. It was enough to send me into a state of temporary madness. I became incredibly irritable and argumentative. My mind was a whirlwind of chaotic thoughts, and my behavior was simply awful. I felt a strange pride in my own wickedness. After a few days, the effects of the terrible syrup wore off, leaving me feeling much worse than before. My cold had migrated from my head down into my lungs. I began to cough every minute of the day and night. Sleep was impossible. The raw, rasping sound of my own voice startled me. I was deteriorating daily. An old friend suggested gin. I tried it. Then he recommended gin mixed with molasses. Finally, for the ultimate cure, he told me to add chopped onions to the mix. The resulting smell of my breath was so potent it could have wilted flowers. Desperate for a change, I decided to travel to the countryside to restore my health. I went to the beautiful Mirror Lake with my friend, Henry. We rode in a comfortable stagecoach and, upon arriving, spent our days fishing and sailing. We hunted for hours in the dense woods and danced in the evenings. I had a wonderful time, but my illness only worsened. A fellow tourist at Mirror Lake suggested a cold sheet bath. I had never been one to refuse a remedy, so, at midnight, when the air was bitingly cold, I stripped down completely and wrapped my body in a single, ice-cold, wet sheet. I remained in that state for what felt like an eternity. It was the most miserable experience of my life. The frigid, damp sheet felt like it was freezing my blood and stopping my heart. Let me give you this one piece of advice: never, ever take a cold sheet bath. My condition deteriorated further. Other people offered other cures, but not a single one helped. After a week at Mirror Lake, I traveled to a place called Geyser Gulch, thinking the famous hot baths there might do me some good. They did not. While at Geyser Gulch, I tried several more remedies, each leaving me in a worse state than before. I was at my wits' end. As a last resort, I decided to visit the city of San Francisco. The day I checked into my hotel, a woman there told me to drink 1 bottle of whiskey every 24 hours. Later that day, a dear friend who lived in the city recommended the exact same thing, a bottle of whiskey every 24 hours. Well, that meant 2 bottles of whiskey, and I am delighted to report that this final San Francisco remedy, at long last, cured my cold.